Hello and welcome to Happy Cells and Souls. My name is Julie Powers and I'm a licensed Zumba instructor and I'm a business affiliate with the Juice Plus company. And my missions in life are to help people understand that life is better when you're dancing through it and to inspire healthy living around the world. But my expanded mission is to create better health at the cellular level and more joy at the cellular level. And I think we get one body while we're here and we're supposed to take care of it, but we're also supposed to be happy and spread light and love and joy into the world and all things positive. And so that's what these conversations are about. I'm talking with people that I think bring something special to the table, something special to the world. And so today I'm really excited to talk to Sam Thompson. Sam and I are on opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of our regular daily diets. He is a beef farmer. He sells a lot of really cool things for people who are carnivores or omnivores. I am vegan. I don't eat meat anymore, and I haven't for a long time, but most of the people in my life do. And I think it's really important to know what your food quality is like and to understand the processes behind it and to understand the farming and the people that you do business with. And so, Sam, that's why I'm here talking with you today, because I think you have a story to share and you also have a high quality product that is available for people in our local area. So welcome, Sam. I think
Thanks for having me.
I've known you since you were born, so this is fun to have a conversation with you as a grown-up businessman. Um, but you grew up on the farm out there. So tell us a little bit about growing up on the farm and what that means to you and what it means for your family. You have all these children now and your wife, and you're out there on the farm on a daily basis. So tell us about that.
Yeah, I think it's probably the best way somebody can grow up, in my opinion. You learn work ethic, uh, you learn where important things like your food comes from. I don't think there's any better way to raise kids, and it's extremely exciting now being on the other side of it and getting to watch my kids grow up on the farm now too.
They're very involved in the farm too, because I've seen lots of videos of the little ones just out there working hard, doing stuff that you have to do on a regular basis.
Yeah, they're involved every day. We actually plan to homeschool this year so they can be around even more and
Mhm.
learn that work ethic along with everything else in a day-to-day basis, and we enjoy the heck out of it.
Well, I know that as you were growing up, you worked side by side with your grandpa on a regular basis, and you learned most of your farming techniques and like how to repair equipment and all kinds of things from him. So tell me a little bit about what it was that made you want to stay on the farm, because I remember when it was celebrated as a century farm, which was a big deal. So if you want to talk about that, and then when you knew you were staying on the farm, you were going to do this as a business for yourself and your family, and just tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, when I was a kid growing up with my grandpa, working with him, I mean, there was no better way to spend my time as a kid, I don't think. I mean, I did other things that I enjoyed too, but I would do anything to go back and spend some time with him and do what we used to do together. And a great a great man to learn from, and I was extremely fortunate, and our family has a lot of history with it. I am the fifth generation. My kids will be the sixth generation. Um, so there's a lot of family history in it, and there's a lot of things I learned from my grandpa, and I've made a lot of changes since I've taken over. But um he taught me a lot, and I couldn't have had any better person to learn from and get started in it.
That's great. So I know that you raise beef cattle and
Yep.
and you have a way that you do that a lot of bigger commercial farms do not do this process. So I think it's a really cool thing to do. It's a better way to care for our earth, and to be better stewards of this planet. So can you tell us what that is called and what does it mean?
Yeah. a big keyword for it nowadays is regenerative farming.
Mhm.
I will say I'm not 100% over there yet. I still finish my cattle on grain. I don't really it's not my first choice, honestly, and I have nothing against anybody that does it that way. I would love to buy organic grain, but the cost of it is so high that I haven't found the market for it to be worth it for us yet. But
Mhm.
our genetics are switching over to where we can grass finish cattle, and we're very excited about that. And you know, like I said, nothing against anybody that does it the conventional way, but there's a lot of things that go into the regenerative side that I like. Um, and a lot of it comes down to money too. Not purchasing the expensive chemicals and stuff to keep stuff going. I try to take care of it to where it doesn't need that stuff.
Yeah, well, that's the way that we used to do things a long time ago. And if we don't all go back to that method, we are not going to have a choice.
Right.
It
Well,
destroyed so much, right?
yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, our population in this country and across the world is so big. It's hard. It, it's difficult to see another way to do it without the chemical, the just the conventional way of doing it. Because I mean, what we're doing, what farmers are doing nowadays with the numbers that we have and the percentages of people that are feeding in the world or the country, it's gone up so much. I mean, they're extremely productive.
Mm.
I look at it a little bit differently, and I would like to see, I'd like to see different things change. I am not a fan of chemical stuff like that. I don't want to be eating it, or I definitely don't want to be eating anything that's sprayed directly on.
Mm.
Whether or not we'll get there, I don't know, but each person can only do what they can do.
Well, normally I'm speaking with people that are a lot of plant-based people and
Yeah.
eat very little meat or
Yeah.
no meat. But as I said, I do have a lot of people in my life that eat a lot of meat. And
Yeah.
I think it's really important to know that you're providing a product that is so much better for people if they're going to eat meat, especially if it's going to be a special occasion to get really good meat, you want to get really good meat.
Yeah.
And so I love this idea. So I understand that you move your cattle like from section to section so that they are constantly eating different grass. And can you just kind of tell us a little bit about how that process works so that we have, for those people who are not farmers and
Yeah.
I don't do outside stuff much. So
Right.
tell it as
Yeah.
if you're talking to me.
Yeah. So I ideally, I have a lot of projects going on. Our fences are about 50 years old, but ideally, I want to move my cattle anywhere from once a day to about 4 times a day, and that way, it really keeps better care of the grasses and the soil. It Instead of them eating the same good grasses all the time,
Mhm.
they are eating all the grass, and it kind of evens out to where they're not getting too much protein or not too much of the good stuff. They're
Mm.
eating everything. And then what comes with that is they're stomping the weeds, and it's going back into the ground as kind of like an organic matter.
Mhm.
Um, and they're not, they're just not picking through everything. So it takes a lot of work to move them multiple times a day, but it's 100% worth it. And then their manure is getting spread over the ground better, and that's where I can replace a chemical fertilizer with their manure because they'll do all the work themselves.
That's great. I mean, that's really good to know. How many animals are we talking about?
It could be anywhere from about 50 to 100. I move stuff around a lot, so I've always got different numbers of stuff. It's always moving, but
Mhm.
um, I'm doing some stuff different now than I have in the last few years. As far as I sold off some cows, and I'm buying some calves, and kind of backgrounding them, and then I'll move them on. But our beef business comes from all of our own cows, and that's another thing. As far as chemicals or anything like that, all of our beef has never been vaccinated. never been dewormed. They are as natural as can be. And if they get sick and need an antibiotic, they get culled from our beef program.
Mm. That is really, really important, because there are some really scary things being sold in our food supply. And it's nice to know that somebody is caring about it that much. And I know that you're looking at everything that you grow there and the animals that you work with as if they're going into your own children's bodies and your extended family. And I know that when you look at your babies, you're like, I'm not going to mess with them. I'm going to give them what's important. And so it's really great that you're able to provide that for other people. And I know it's a small business, but it is something that, maybe will grow a little bit in the future. And you do, it's called Bar MT Ranch. So can you
Yes.
say, how did you come up with the name?
We it's our brand, Bar MT, and the M stands for Miller, which was my grandpa's last name, AJ Miller, and the T is our last name, Thompson, mine and my kids. So that's how we came up with that.
Right. So I love that it has the Miller letter M in there.
Oh
And
yeah, we would
of
never get
course
rid
it
of that.
has to, right?
Yeah.
And I know that you have a Facebook page called Bar MT Ranch. You have a phone number and an email that I will put in the text that will go with this video. Um, because it's a small business, I know you like to keep everything in stock year round, but there are times that things might go out of stock. So what would you suggest for people that are wanting to get products from you? What is the best way for them to make sure that what they want is available, or how to reach you? What's a good way to do that?
Yeah, we do it two different ways. So you can buy a quarter, half, or whole beef from us. That the best way to do is give us as much heads up as you can. Right now, we are sold out till September. Well, we're sold out a couple months ahead, and we usually are. So we can take deposits on those spots and
Mhm.
save them for you, and that deposit will come off the final price. So just as much leeway as you can give us. The single cuts, we try our best to keep them in stock all the time. Now, occasionally we get swamped and we get sold out of whether hamburger and steaks are the most popular thing.
Mhm.
But we do our best to keep it in stock, and it's kind of hard to get it in on that stuff ahead of time. It's more so when we get it. But the best way is to follow the Facebook page, and we keep stuff updated as we have it. And we do a weekly special box that's pretty popular, and we just kind of keep people in the loop with what we got going. But reach out, call, text, message us on Facebook anytime, and we can get you in the loop and let you know what the plans are if we don't have something in stock. But because we're a smaller operation and we don't have a warehouse where we can pull
Mhm.
just cuts that we want, we have to sell all the cuts out of that animal. So sometimes it gets a little choppy, but it's not too bad.
Well, I know that my husband and my son, as well as
Yep.
my extended family, have all enjoyed your products in the
Yep.
past. And something too that we've done is we've purchased boxes of things from you to give people for gifts. And
Yep.
so I'm sure that we're not the only ones to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that might be something too that, for me, giving somebody a box of meat is kind of a weird thing, but I
Yeah.
know that's what those people would really enjoy. And so, you know, carnivore to carnivore, it's a really great thing.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah. Um, so what is your favorite cut of meat?
Oh, I probably a ribeye or a porterhouse would be my favorite. They're good tender steaks. Can't beat them.
Very good. Very good. So I know that your son has done a lot of work on the farm, as we mentioned before. What would you say is the best part of watching them, your son and your daughter, and well, all of them, all of them, and they're so little. What
Yeah.
ages? What are their ages again?
Stetson is 5, Maggie Kate's 3, and Sterling's 1.
And I've seen Stetson and Maggie Kate working together on some farm projects. What would you say is the most exciting or unexpected thing that you've watched them be able to do on the farm at such young ages?
Well, Stetson is just getting to be where he is a massive help, really. I mean, just at 5, he is a big help, and he will show his sisters whatever they need to know. I think the funniest thing is even just watching them around the house and everything that they play. It's the stuff that we do during the day. I mean, they'll bring it home and they'll make it their game, whether they're roping chickens or building fence around the yard, or you never know what they'll come up with.
Oh, that is great. And I remember when you were little, you had a giant like play school or Lego farm thing that you
Yeah,
with, and I know that Stetson has that probably now, and
yeah. Where
it's just
I'm actually
expanded.
I'm sitting at the kitchen table with a couple of his tractors and bush hog and a truck and cattle trailer.
That is great. So is there anything else that you can think of that you would really like to share with anybody out, whoever happens to be watching this, that the 5 people, the 50 people, or the 500 people that might find this video along the way, just to make sure that they know where you're coming from, what you're focused on, and what you have to offer?
Yeah, I would encourage anybody anytime to reach out, whether it's me or somebody else that does something like me, and just have a conversation about it. Because that's something you're never going to do at the grocery store. You're never going to get opinions about how people do anything, but come talk to me. And we really try hard to raise a healthy protein that you don't have to worry about what's in it, or whether it even come from this country or anything else. I don't think you can beat it, and we're pretty proud of the product that we're able to put out.
That's great. Well, I am very proud of you and what you've done, and I know that your mom is as well.
Yeah,
So,
well, I appreciate it, and when you're ready to eat a steak, come find me.
I don't know that that will happen very soon, but I've always said to everyone that if I wake up one day and I want to eat a hamburger, I'm going to eat a hamburger. So I will make sure
Yeah.
that it's from Bar MT when I
There
have
you
that
go.
hamburger, but it's probably not going to happen for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much, Sam.
Yep. Thank you. I really appreciate it.